I'm pregnant.
Beautiful morning.
Hello, welcome to LTM Reviews. We'll get you caught up on the oldest movies. What is Sesame Street? Sesame Street has been around since 1970, and it's still airing to this day. And it's a show that teaches you about ABCs in your 1, 2, 3s. And it's for very small children. I grew up with Sesame Street. I don't have a big nostalgia connection with it, but I will admit that it was one of the first shows I ever saw. Yes, even before SpongeBob. Well, I'm not the biggest fan now because I did grow out of it. I do have a nostalgic connection with it, and I still have good memories from Sesame Street. But what I didn't know that Sesame Street did have was a movie that came out in the 1980s titled Follow That Bird. And in Follow That Bird, Big Bird is just him living his life, happy-go-lucky bird, but then suddenly a bird named Miss Finch and tells him that he needs to live with other birds that is his kind, not with the people around Sesame Street. So Miss Finch takes him to a place and to live with the dodos for a long time, but Big Bird doesn't like it there. So he then runs away, and it causes the news flash, and then everybody knows about it, including the residents of Sesame Street. So the people at Sesame Street, like Oscar, Bert and Ernie, Cookie Monster, all those characters, they start talking and say, hey, we need to go find Big Bird and do something. So the residents of Sesame Street go on a search for him, while also Miss Finch also looking for her, as well as two circus workers, one played by Dave Thomas and one played by the other guy, I can't remember his name, while Big Bird is trying to head back to Sesame Street, struggling. So when I was a kid, I never saw this film back in the day because, it was the 1980s, but from what I heard, the film was a box office bomb, and although it did well, despite doing well with critics, it was a big, huge bomb at the box office. But it wasn't the film's fault. I mean, like I said, it did well with critics, and it has gained a following, as well as doing well. It did much better on home video. But it came out the same time as Fright Night, Weird Science, Back to the Future, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, The Black Cauldron, and that movie bombed too, but then again, it made more money than this film. National Lampoon's European Vacation, as well as the re-releases of Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters is one of them, E.T., Ghostbusters, and Gremlins. So yeah, it was this movie did pretty well, and I feel bad for the film because, to be honest, the film isn't really that bad. Well, I don't think Follow That Bird is a masterpiece, and I'm not a fan of the movie. I did have I did have fun time with it. What I like about Follow That Bird is that, unlike something like the Oogie Loves or the Elmo movie that would come out years later, which also bombed, but I'll talk about that another time, it actually feels like a movie. You can tell the people at Warner Brothers and Jim Henson said, hey, this is a kind of a strange concept, but we're going to do everything the best we can to make this turn into a movie. And you can tell by that because they filmed in locations. You can tell that you can tell how really expensive some of these mechanicals and puppetry really is, because I don't know the budget of this movie, but let me just say the puppetry is very well done in this movie. You could tell that Jim Henson in the studio really wanted to make these puppets come to life, and it really shows. It really does great. The puppetry is great. Them driving in cars and planes was really great. The songs I'm not really a big fan of because, it's Sesame Street. Some of the songs nowadays are not going to please me, but they're decent songs for kids. I don't think they're that bad. The villain, Miss Finch, was just a very weak villain. Not awful, just not very interesting. I do like those two circus brothers, one played by Dave Thomas and, I forgot that other actor's name. I'm sorry, I forgot. But they're like these brothers that are hunting for Big Bird, and they turn him blue, and Big Bird sings that really sad song everybody remembers, and that's all I know. That's all I know while watching the movie. There are some good cameos in there, like Dave Thomas, like I said before, plays one of the circus workers. John Candy is his police officer. Chevy Chase is in this movie from National Lampoons, and he plays the newscast in one or two scenes. Sandra Bernhard has a nice cameo as this waitress. Really good cameos. I like that. Waylon Jennings. I forgot about Waylon Jennings, and he sings a really catchy song in the movie. I forgot the name of it. Ain't No Mountain High or something. I can't remember, but that's probably one of the best cameos in the movie. The story isn't really much. It's more like you're trying to get back home story with a little bit of a Homeward Bound and Wacky Races in there. But it's fine enough as far as kids films go. So overall, Sesame Street Presents Follow That Bird is not perfect. It's not for everybody, and especially wasn't for me. But as far as kids films go, and especially for those who, I guess, who grew up with Sesame Street will find it fine. It's kind of hard, to be honest, it's kind of hard to distaste or despise something as innocent as Sesame Street, even though there are worse things out there that are much worse for kids. So, I give this movie, but the film, as a film on its own, it's just simple, cute, and just charming, I guess. I mean, at least if you look at it as a kid's movie. So overall score, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot going for it, and it does have a lot of effort put into it. Alright guys, that's Follow That Bird. What's your favorite kids movie? What's a movie that you grew up a lot with as a kid, and what movie was your favorite? What's your favorite kids movie? Please subscribe, comment below, let me know. This is LTM signing out. I'll see you guys next time.
I think Moto likes you.